When we read through the Bible, we do not find any prophecies explicitly talking about the coming of religions such as Islam, Buddhism, Hinduism. Yet God could not have missed out on such important events on earth. In the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 24 to 25, God prophesied of coming forth of the earth of religions as the beast, meaning that every religion is of the earth, is earthly, and is not of God. The beast in Genesis 1:24 represents religion. The word beast in the entire Bible represents religion. Whenever or wherever the beast is used to mean any other thing, it is preceded by an adjective of some sort to show the difference between what the Bible is saying and religion. For instance, in Genesis 7 verse 2, the Bible says, "Of every clean beast," referring to the Jews, "thou shalt take to thee by sevens, and of the beasts that are not clean," referring to the Gentiles. Notice that it is clean and unclean beasts, and not just beasts. It would mean religion. But in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 32, the Bible says, here Paul was writing to the Corinthians about his experience in Ephesus, and he wrote, "If after this manner of men I have fought with beasts in Ephesus, what advantage is it to me?" Here Paul was not talking about fighting lions and leopards in the jungles of Ephesus. Paul was referring to the religions that confronted him in Ephesus. Remember, Ephesus was the place of the goddess Diana, and not fighting animals. Again, in the book of Acts, chapter 10, verse 12, the Bible says, "Wherein were all manner of four-footed beasts of the earth, and wild beasts, and creeping things, and fowls of the air." Here, Peter saw in a vision a vessel coming down from heaven, and in that vessel were wild beasts, referring to animals, and all manner of four-footed beasts. Now, four-footed and wild were adjectives to indicate that beasts there refers to animals. The book of Genesis chapter 6 verse 18 to 20, God spoke to Noah, saying, "And thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy sons, and thy wife, and thy sons' wives with thee." Verse 19, God said, "And of every living thing of all flesh," referring to natural animals, "of all flesh, ye shall bring two of every sort into the ark to keep them alive with you. They shall be male and female." And in verse 20, God said, "Of the birds after their kinds, of cattle after their kinds, and of every creeping thing of the earth after its kind, two of every kind will come to you to keep them alive." Now notice here that God, in asking Noah to bring these animals into the ark, did not mention a beast. He did not mention the beast to come into the ark with Noah. But in Genesis 7:13 to 14, the Bible says, "In the same day entered Noah and Shem and Ham and Japheth, the sons of Noah, and Noah's wife, and the three wives of his sons with them into the ark." And verse 14, the Bible says, "They and every beast." Now listen, God did not ask Noah to take any beast into the ark, but as they entered, the Bible says, "They and every beast," meaning every kind of religion. Some of the children of Noah were not believers. Beast represents religion. Noah's children entered the ark with religions in them. Some of them were not believers. In the book of Genesis chapter 8, verse 16 to 17, again God spoke to Noah, saying, Go forth of the ark, thou and thy wife, and thy sons was with thee. Verse 17. Bring forth with thee every living thing that is with thee, of all flesh, both of birds, of cattle, of every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, that they may breed abundantly, and be fruitful and multiply upon the earth. Notice again here, God did not ask Noah that he should come forth with any beast. No. The beast was inside of the people. The religions were in Noah's children and their wives. Notice what happened in verse 19. And Noah went forth, and his sons, and his wife, and his sons' wives with him. And every beast, meaning every religion, they came forth from the ark with every beast. Though God did not mention any beast to come forth of the ark, they came forth with every sort of religion. Beast represents religion in the Bible. Beast does not necessarily represent animals in the Bible. Whenever it represents animals, it is preceded by an adjective. Wild beast, four-footed beast, clean beast, unclean beast. But when it is beast, it refers to religion. In the book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 7, the Bible says, After this, I saw in the night vision, and behold, four beasts, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly. In this vision, Daniel did not see animals. He saw four religions on earth. They were terrible and exceedingly strong. And in the book of Revelation, chapter 13, God showed John in the vision two religions. In Revelation 13, verse 1, the Bible says, And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rise up out of the sea. And in verse 11, the Bible says, And behold, another beast coming up from the earth. God showed the Apostle John two religions. One coming from the sea, another coming from the land. Both are coming from the earth. They are earthly. They are religions. Theologians have missed this revelation because of Daniel 7:23. Daniel 7:23 says, The fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down, and break it into pieces. And the reason why theologians have missed it is that they have forgotten that there is no kingdom by definition of the word that has no territorial boundaries and no king and has no name, but represented by a monster. For it is a kingdom, it must have a king, it must have a name, and must have territorial boundaries. Yet these four beasts, which Daniel 7:23 referred to as kingdoms, he says that the fourth kingdom devours the whole world, meaning that the fourth kingdom occupies the whole earth. Now, if there are four kingdoms and one occupies the whole earth, where are the other three occupying? They are also occupying the whole earth. All four kingdoms occupy the whole earth. And it is only religion that is like a kingdom, that has establishment like kingdoms, but that has no territorial boundaries. Only religions have no territorial boundaries, yet they have names, and they occupy the whole earth. The four beasts Daniel saw were religions. They are not kingdoms. If they were kingdoms, they would give their names. They would not be represented by weird beasts. They would have had kings whose names would have been mentioned. But because they were religions yet to come, they were represented by these weird beasts: Islam, Buddhism, Hinduism, and Christianity. These are the four beasts on earth described by Daniel and John. If you have been blessed by this message, like it and share it to as many people as possible.